We interrupt your regularly scheduled program for a special announcement. I'm currently working on editing. I am behind by probably about 2 videos now, but I wanted to post a little update because I also need to do something that I have not really done previously in the past, which is I desperately need to ask for your support. So before we get into that, let me start with a recap for those of you who are new here and just following my channel and don't really know about my story. And for those of you who have been here, thank you so much for hanging out, for listening to my story, and for going on this journey with me. Welcome, my name is Christine, and this is my van life channel, my just life in general channel, where you are following along with me on my journey as I basically restore this 1978 Dodge van and hopefully attempt to bring it to some kind of former glory and turn it into a camper and be able to travel across the country and just live life free. So without further ado, let's get into the update. So today I got the new distributor. I put that on the van and I managed to get the power steering hose off, which was kicking my ass. And I finally, what I did was I put my cutoff wheel on my Ryobi and I fucking sliced the, because the power steering, if you know anything, it has like a metal end, right, that connects into the box, and then the rest is like a rubber hose. So I could not get the bolt off, and it's like kind of an awkward position. So I finally just sliced it off right above the bolt. That way I could fit a socket on there instead of using a wrench, and it broke right free. So I was very thankful for that. I was very proud of myself for like getting that done, using some power tools and a little bit of girl muscle and getting that done. So I thought that I was getting things accomplished. So after I got the distributor put in, got everything hooked back up, went to start it, and it still does not start. Still does not start. So now we are down to the last straw because I have literally changed almost every piece on this van. So with the exception of the starter, the alternator, and the timing chain, pretty much I've changed every other component that would have to do with the fuel, the ignition system. The carburetor is brand new. Oh, and as a side note, I got to thinking that maybe I could get the little plastic piece that broke on my carburetor, on my original one, and I could take it to someone who has a 3D printer. That would be a lifesaver because I would really like to have my old carburetor, and then I could ship the new like Chinese one back to Amazon and get back my $90 because every penny counts right now. So anyway, the only other thing that I have not done was I did not do the timing belt because I was scared to do it because I didn't want to fuck anything up. But at this point, like, I have gotten myself this far, right? So I bought the parts, but I wanted to do the distributor first and see what would happen. And a bunch of the guys on the forum are like, oh, just quit throwing parts at your van. But the thing is, like, it's in 1978. So it is nearly 40 years old. And I guarantee you that every part on there is absolutely original. When I took the distributor off today, like, I watched this video on YouTube and the guy was like, just unbolt the, there's like a bracket that sits over it like this. It's like a U-shaped bracket. So you're just supposed to unbolt that and it literally should just lift out. But mine was not just literally lifting out. I was having to bang it with a hammer. It was so corroded and caked up with oil and just gunk from this motor is just, it's seen better days. Like, it's tired, it's old. So anyway, got that all cleaned up, got the new one in there, and like still having this no start issue. So now it is down to, I'm going to have to rip everything back out again. I have to remove the radiator, which means I have to drain it. I have to take off the water pump and all of the belts for the alternator, all that stuff. If you work on cars and you know, all that stuff is in front of the water pump and kind of connected to it. So that's going to be at least a whole day's job, depending on how many times I curse myself out, hit myself with a tool, or like whatever the case may be. So it might turn into 2 days or even longer because I am doing this by myself. So we will see. But that is going to be my next step. I'm going to have to tear it back down, and I'm going to have to install the timing chain because I just don't know what else at this point. And I cannot afford to take it to a mechanic to have them likely tell me that that's probably what it is. And again, like I said, it's a 40-year-old vehicle. So, parts don't last forever. I can tell that this engine has gone through a lot. So for me and my peace of mind, the parts themselves do not cost a lot. Like the timing chain was only 30 bucks. The distributor was only $60, right? The carburetor was like 90. Of course, all of that adds up. But when you add all of that up, I've probably spent somewhere close to 400, maybe 500-ish when you add in all the little extras, the gaskets, if I need a new tool or like whatever. It adds up. But at the end of the day, once all those parts are done and I get the van running, like, it is still cheaper than me going out trying to buy another bucket of bolts that I have to dump a whole bunch of money in. Because let's just face it, you know, there's not anything that you're going to buy these days that you're going to go spend, like, even if you are lucky enough to find a vehicle for $1,000 that actually runs, that has current tags and registration and, you know, a whole bunch of other things. Like, it's likely at some point you're going to have to put some kind of money into any kind of vehicle. And that's the way that I look at things, because also I am the person who likes to try to salvage things, who likes to save things. And there's no point to just like send something to the junkyard when it is a perfectly fixable van. When it ran super solid. It's got a strong motor, and it will run. It's just, there's something that it's eluding me. It's something that I don't have the knowledge of. So it's either got to come down to something electrical, which it may very well be. So basically, the long and short of it is that the hope is that after I have changed all of these parts and I finally get this thing to run, that it should be solid for at least until I have saved up enough and decided whether or not I'm going to get a bus. But that's for another video. I would really like to get a bus, like a medium-sized bus. That was always the plan and always the goal, but that's a huge goal. But for now, the short-term goal is I need to get this van running. I desperately do need to get to Oregon, because at this point, it is kind of like the third time's the charm. I started out back in October when I started on this whole journey, and I got hired at Amazon in Portland, and I thought that the van was going to be running, and then it wasn't. So I sold most of my major, you know, large business equipment in order to raise up the money to get the parts and the things that I needed for the van. That was at the point where I did like the water pump and all of that stuff. And after that, it still wasn't running. So I had to withdraw my application, and I've basically been stuck here in limbo ever since October. And I've just continuously been working on the van and doing everything I can to get it running. And a couple of weeks ago, I thought that I was there. I thought that after I changed the carburetor, like for sure it was going to run. So I went ahead and I applied to Amazon again. And then I still didn't have this van running. So I withdrew my application again. And then just a couple of days ago, another position popped up. So I applied for this position. And it's a great position for me because it's 3 days. It's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it's 6:30 in the morning until 3 o'clock. It's a part-time position, but that is enough with my business to, be able to survive. And like, ideally, like if I had my van so that I could avoid paying rent, that would be perfect. But at this point, I don't know if I'm going to have my van or not, to go up there. So this is where I need to ask desperately for your help. And I don't really like asking for handouts. So supporting my business would be ideal and be the number one way that you could help me out. You can go to Live Where You Park on Etsy, or you can go to That 80s Queen on Etsy. And I have stickers and decals available. And anyone who buys a decal will receive a free sticker. If you buy 3 of my stickers, you will get 1 free. I have more products on That 80s Queen than I do on Live Where You Park, but I am working on building that up. So who knows, you might find something else there that you like. I have over 400 listings on my 80s Queen Etsy. I am also That 80s Queen on the Whatnot app. So if you have the Whatnot app, you can go on there, you can follow me. Tomorrow, I am going to plan to go to my storage unit, and I am going to start auctioning off the rest of the fabric that I have available. So if you use fabric in any way, shape, or form, whether you are a seamstress or you use it for decoupage or junk journaling, or there's so many things you can use fabric for, right? I have loads and loads and loads and loads of fabric. I am not joking. Even though I have like gotten rid of so much over the past like couple of years. I still have loads left, and the majority of it is vintage. I have a good chunk of it that is licensed fabric like Disney, and I have at least 2 of the big Costco size black and yellow tubs full of vintage sheets, anything from Transformers, Holly Hobby, I think I have Care Bears, like random whatever vintage flowers and cartoon character type sheets. So if you're into using those for any kind of thing, I have that. And then I have some vintage blankets, which I know are popular to make jackets out of. So if you want to follow me on Whatnot and you want to come into my live and you want to purchase something there, that can be a way that you can support me. You can follow me here and on TikTok. You can follow all my channels. You can background play my YouTube videos. That helps me towards getting remonetized, because I have lost my monetization since I was not really active on YouTube anymore. So that is also going to be going forward one of the ways that I am going to make my income as I build this channel and I share my adventures with you guys as once I get this van going and I go out on my travels. Or you can donate if you would like to. I do not like to really ask for donations, but all of my donation links are down below. So if you choose to, if you want to just buy me a cup of coffee, it is greatly, greatly appreciated. Every little thing helps, but I would always like to just earn your dollar through my business. So you can visit one of my shops and just purchase something there, or come into one of my Whatnots and, you know, buy something on one of my live auctions. I will also be doing a vintage auction. Just keep an eye out. I don't know. Tomorrow I will be doing primarily fabric. So maybe the next day or the day after, I might go back to my storage and do some vintage. I don't have a whole lot of vintage left anymore. So that's it. That's the update. I'm going to continue to work on editing and get a full-length video of kind of the behind the scenes, what I've been doing with working on the van and all of that good stuff. But I wanted to post this so that I give you guys the quick update, and so that I could ask you for your support if you are able, because I am out of time, I am out of money, and I am out of resources, and I desperately have to go make it to Oregon for this job, which I have to be there on the 8th for my intake appointment, and then the job starts on the 18th, because I just don't want to withdraw my application again. You know, I've already overstayed my welcome. My roommate has been very gracious on, you know, helping me out and letting me stay in this spare room, and I haven't been paying rent here, but, you know, it's been long enough, and I just, you know, want to get out. I'm just itching to get out, to start the next chapter, and yeah. So I don't know. I guess I don't want to ramble too much, but that's it. I'm going to close out this video, and I just really want to thank you all for being here, for watching my channel, and I will see you on the next one. Okay, bye.